Turning to some other news, South Korea's Yonhap news agency reports the Democratic People's Republic of Korea has now test-launched 5 missiles since its claim of a second nuclear test on Monday. The DPRK celebrated the underground test at Pyongyang's indoor gymnasium, a venue often used to stage meetings in support of state policy as well as musical and athletic performances. Senior officials at the event included Parliamentary Chief Kim Yong-nam. The DPRK says the nuclear test and missile launches were carried out in self-defense.
What is important is to put an end to hostile policy. Hostile policy in particular of the United States and Japan. We have no any other intention to defend ourselves.
Yonhap also reports the DPRK appears to have restarted its nuclear processing facility at Yongbyon. The DPRK has been disabling the facility as part of an aid for denuclearization deal in 2007. Pyongyang said in April that it would restart the facility to protest a UN Security Council statement condemning its long-range rocket launch earlier that month. South Korea says it will join the Non-Proliferation Security Initiative. The initiative is an effort to intercept shipments of suspended of carrying equipment and supplies needed to build weapons of mass destruction. Mike Patterson has the story.
South Korea announced Tuesday it would join a UN-led initiative to stop the spread of weapons of mass destruction. Pyongyang has warned it would consider Seoul's full participation in the PSI as a declaration of war. At a State Ministers' Financial Affairs meeting, President Lee Myung-bak called for more to be done to curtail the DPRK's actions.
By this nuclear test, we are going to not only cooperate with US but also with the other 6 party talks participating nations like Japan, China and Russia, and we are going to take previously unseen countermeasure actions.
A spokesman for the South Korean president says U.S. President Barack Obama welcomes Seoul's participation in the initiative. But in an effort to cool the rhetoric, South Korea emphasized the decision to join the PSI was not a threat to its neighbor.
I mentioned that the PSI is not directly related to the South-North relationship. We wish that the DPRK does not have the wrong understanding about this.
The U.S. Air Force is believed to be using a reconnaissance aircraft capable of detecting radiation in the atmosphere to learn more about Monday's test. A WC-135W aircraft was seen taking off from Okinawa hours after the DPRK announced on Monday it had conducted a second nuclear test. Meanwhile, U.S. President Barack Obama spoke to Japanese Prime Minister Taro Aso by phone to coordinate reaction to Pyongyang's latest nuclear test. Obama and his administration are seeking tougher diplomatic leverage to maintain security in Northeast Asia. Japan's chief cabinet secretary says the talks were fruitful. Mike Patterson, CCTV.
Several key nations have met to discuss a UN Security Council resolution against the DPRK for its latest nuclear test. Some say the resolution could include new sanctions against the DPRK. Zheng Sui has more details.
Ambassadors from the 5 Permanent Security Council members held closed-door talks on a DPRK nuclear test at the UN headquarters. South Korea and Japan also took part. Following the meeting, the U.S. ambassador says they agree on the goals of a resolution.
We share a common set of objectives, which are to convey very clearly and unequivocally that the actions by North Korea run counter to the interests of regional peace and security, violate international law, and need to be dealt with directly and seriously.
Japan says previous resolutions are not sufficient.
The Council needs the strong message. Nobody is saying that what we have done so far, what has been agreed upon, is enough. We need additional.
The Security Council has condemned the DPRK's large underground explosion as a violation of the resolution it adopted after Pyongyang's first nuclear blast in October 2006. The resolution banned future tests, imposed sanctions, and called for Pyongyang to return to the six-party talks aimed at eliminating its nuclear program. Zheng Sui, CCTV.
China has reiterated it firmly opposes the DPRK's second nuclear test. It's called for a resumption of the six-party talks to seek a peaceful solution through consultation and dialogue. Pan Deng has this story.
The DPRK's second nuclear test has shocked the world. Major powers have expressed anger and deep concern over the developing issue. China said on Tuesday that it strongly opposed to the DPRK's act.
The DPRK conducted another nuclear test in disregard of the common opposition of the international community. The Chinese government is firmly opposed to this act. The firm and consistent stand of the Chinese government is to bring about the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, oppose nuclear proliferation, and safeguard peace and stability in Northeast Asia.
De-escalation of the nuclear issue caused a halt to the six-party talks when the DPRK announced it was withdrawing from the process earlier this year. But China hopes the parties involved will come back to the mechanism.
China strongly urges the DPRK to honour its commitment to denuclearization, stop relevant moves that may further worsen the situation, and return to the six-party talks. The Chinese government calls on all parties concerned to persist in seeking a peaceful solution through consultation and dialogue. China will continue to make every effort towards this goal.
Also on Tuesday, South Korea announced that it will fully participate in the Proliferation Security Initiative, while the United States has been seeking tougher diplomatic leverage to maintain Northeast Asia's security situation.
The DPRK's second nuclear test may raise a bigger role in the next few days. Many are worrying that the act may harm the denuclearization process of the Korean Peninsula. This makes restraint and finding a way back to the negotiation table for all parties concerned more urgent than ever. Pan Deng, CCTV, Beijing.
You're watching NewsHour here on CCTV International. Coming up, stimulus spending. China's Ministry of Finance reports it has allocated more than half of this year's central government investment budget. And green power. China and South Korea see big economic potential in the new energy and environmental protection sectors.